Hey everybody, this is the Week 8 discussion board post. The purpose of education in general is to teach students the skills that they need to move on to the college level and to be successful with their job in the real world one day. There's also a lot of emphasis to teach for data because data is compared so frequently among other countries. The purpose of education in America is for teachers to teach their students to be 21st century learners, especially with all of the technology resources we have available for us today to integrate into their learning. There's also a huge emphasis on testing in America. Teachers are teaching for test and for testing data so that it is high. And teachers are teaching their students to use higher order of thinking and problem solving skills. I do agree with the educational purposes discussed in Chapter 10. They pointed out that students today have access to information beyond the walls of the school, which is very true to think about. They have all of the technology at the tip of their hand that they can further research information. They also stated in the chapter that instead of comparing ourselves as the United States to other countries, we should learn from other countries, which I thought was a really great point that they made. They also discussed different ways we can learn from different countries. For example, on page 321, they discuss Finland, how there's no teacher evaluation system, which I thought was really interesting. The teachers are considered teacher professionals who do their best work there. In Australia, the innovation and assessment is managed at the local level because state education boards trust their educators. It's on page 327. So what I'm noticing is that teachers are looked very high upon in other countries, and there's a lot of trust placed in them. In China, on page 333, the test scores that are used to report a nation's student achievement are not useful because they're actually misleading, which I thought was interesting. Really good point that's made about data. At the very end of the chapter, it was stated that we as educators and contributing members of public must comprehend people living outside of our borders. We require some grasp of their histories, cultures, aspirations, world contributions, and problems. That's on page 345, and I thought that was a really good point that they made. Overall, this chapter basically discusses other countries' successes and failures and how we can learn from both from the United States. And so I do really agree with this chapter and the points that were made. Have a good week, everybody.